chat titled up in the top left corner of your screen. You can see this me, myself, and I minding your mental health. Great start bar with Cillian Keane of CK Fitness. Killian, welcome.
Thanks, Millie Barry. Hope all is well. Hope you're keeping well around this current situation. Hope all is good.
All is good, thank God. I'm here in my kitchen and I can see my wearer in the background from lunchtime, so she's going to absolutely kill me when she comes home. So we'll keep going. We'll keep going.
No worries.
Killian, before we start, we're just going to play a little game just to soften the mood. It's called Who Owns This Arse? So you might be able to see it there in the stream.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, so Killian, would you like to take a guess at who owns that arse?
I'd say it's my own, is it?
Do you want to give the audience a little look at it there just to see is it the same one?
No, not really. I think it's a little bit different now these days.
So now that the ice is well and truly broken, guys, just give you a background. Myself and Killian did our course together at Image Fitness in 2013. I'd say Killian was at that stage.
2013, Jesus.
2013, it actually is, yeah. We went to Dublin, we did a matefit course together. We went to Dublin on another occasion to do another Image Fitness course, and Killian even stayed in my house when I was renting in Raheen the night before. So I'd say you can already call us friends at this stage, Killian. So.
Definitely, that's for sure, man. We've done a good few courses together now and known each other for a good few years now. So being in the fitness industry, you kind of touch base with good people as well. So,
Killian, so as I was saying to you before we come on live, the whole purpose of these talks that we're doing is just for, I suppose, my group to get an outside voice, a couple of nuggets of information, and if they get a couple of tips, brilliant. If they don't, it's their loss. But I suppose the people that I'm bringing on at the moment, I'm a firm believer that unless someone has experienced, I suppose the words you've used before, rock bottom, and gone to those dark places, that it really does make a professional, because that professional then has purpose behind them. They, I suppose, require a sense of empathy that someone that hasn't gone through those experiences will never get. So I suppose that's why you were the first trainer that I wanted to bring onto this, because I suppose I followed your work. I know your story, and I suppose I'm delighted to get the opportunity to share it with the group about your story. So in 60 seconds or less, Killian, tell us a little bit about yourself.
60 seconds. Okay, the clock is on. Okay, thanks a million, Barry, for the introduction. I suppose personal training the last number of years, obviously switching over to online coaching a little bit over the last number of years as well. But I recently went back to college in Dublin and DCU, and I was doing a peer support course certificate, and I'll be transitioning between fitness and mental health a little bit over the next couple of years, I suppose. My passion is fitness. Like Barry said, it kind of got me from rock bottom to where I am today. It helped me massively to just keep the mindset strong, keep my well-being on a positive note day to day. And I'll delve a little bit deeper into that in a while. But yeah, my background, fitness, nutrition coach, went back to college to do a mental health course. My passion has been mental health the last number of years, having been through many different stages of struggles and setbacks that I'll share again in a little while. But yeah, it's just I'm looking forward to this, and appreciate you, Barry, for getting me on to chat to your group as well. So hopefully that was 60 seconds, I'd say it was.
That's what I was doing. I was just playing it there in the clock. Yeah, so I didn't want to do the big introduction there. I want you to, I suppose, again, more relevance and more substance coming from you. I didn't want to say this is Killian, personal trainer, mental health advocate, speaker. So I suppose, Killian, the way I want to start with it really is we'll talk about that. We'll actually go straight into the nooks and crannies of it with the mental health side of things.
Yeah.
I suppose, from me knowing your story, I'll just give a little bit of context. I'll let you obviously explain things then a little bit further. But arts you started with up in Galway.
Yeah.
What was the attraction then to fitness? Where did fitness come out of?
Yeah, I suppose I'll take you back from when I was doing my leaving cert in Flannan's back many years ago. I didn't really know what I wanted to do, I suppose. I wanted to just go to college and get some sort of degree, but I actually didn't know what I wanted to do. And for that summer, I noticed my mood was a little bit different. I noticed things were I was a bit more confident than normal. I just put it down to the buzz, heading off to college, going off to NUI Galway to study arts. I was doing economics and Spanish, psychology and soc and pol, sociology and political science, I think it was called. And living away from home for the first time, it was great. Parents are great, but I just wanted to. I need that space. I needed to fly the nest and everything else. But the first few weeks of college, I was drinking 3 to 4 nights a week. I was extremely extroverted, like so sociable, going out, making new friends. And around that time, my friends began to notice a little bit that my mood was just, I was constantly on the go. Like I was maybe sleeping 3 or 4 hours a night, going out, going to college, and I had energy to burn. And at that stage, I didn't know anything about mental health illnesses. And at that stage, I was going through my first manic episode of bipolar disorder. So I still didn't know I had bipolar disorder at that stage at all. And I'll kind of tie the story in together. I won't do the whole shebang, but I think over that first academic year, I went through a manic state. And then a few months down the line, my mood started slowly delving into depression. And to go from a high, elated state, confidence through the roof, to being isolated and alone was just a strange feeling. It was just I didn't realize what was going on, and I didn't know my personality. I didn't know who I was really. And basically, that academic year finished, went off to, I think that year I went off to Spain for 6 weeks to study Spanish, as I was doing Spanish in college and I wanted to get a little bit better. Came back into my second academic year, and again, I was in my second manic state of bipolar disorder, and I just didn't know what was going on again. I was like, how did I finish up the last year in a low mood, depressed? And I began to see things weren't right. And my friends began to comment how much I changed from the previous academic year. They had left me the down and out depressed guy to come back to life and soul of the party again. So there was something was up. Again, it was my friends who brought me to a UCHG Galway hospital, because one night they were really worried about me sleeping again 3 or 4 hours a night and just energy to burn, going out and partying and drinking and everything else. So they sat me down and said, Killian, we're really worried about there's something seriously wrong. You're changing all the time. They brought me to the hospital in Galway, and I spent a month in the psychiatric unit. And it got me thinking about where I was going in life. It got me thinking about so many different things, and it was just like an up and down road of recovery to get back to where I am today. And again, I was hospitalized again a few years later. I don't want to be taking up a good bit of time here telling the story, but I was being hospitalized I had the best support from the doctors and nurses in there, and the best support from my family. But the things that I had to do was try and manage my mental health and try and manage things like getting into fitness. And that's why it probably all tied in. I started doing the fitness instructor course, and I started doing the personal trainer course, and I knew how fitness was so beneficial for my mental health. It just kept me on the straight and narrow. And I'm still doing it to this day, and I know how beneficial it is. And this is just for this group as well, whoever is kind of listening or watching, just you may feel that you're not getting anywhere with your fitness. You may feel you're getting loads of progress with your fitness, but just train for all the positive benefits that happen with training and exercising and eating healthy, because that is what I instill to every one of my clients every single day. Sorry for the big spiel now, Barry, but you can cut in there.
Oh, and come here, as I said, the very first thing I said to you is I'm a big believer that someone has to have substance behind them, you know, and have had that experience and that empathy, I suppose, that can relate to someone else to be truly successful. So it's just something that it's great to hear from someone else, because I suppose the guys know already about my own struggles with an eating disorder and my own mental health difficulties. And like you know, great to share the story to help inspire others and to help people. I suppose going back, I just want to rewind back a little bit. I didn't want to jump across while you're talking.
Oh, you're grand.
Like 19, and being diagnosed with bipolar. Like, talk me through that, and how did you deal with that? How did people see you? You know, what was going on in your head at the time?
It's a strange one, man. I'd say I just didn't want to accept it. I didn't want to be, I suppose, labeled as having a mental health illness, but I don't care what anyone thinks. It basically, bipolar disorder has shaped who I am today. So it's shaped my perspective. It's just given me clarity on day-to-day life, and I appreciate every single day in my life now, because I've been through the absolute pits of depression, to be unhappy on a daily basis, to have negative thoughts on, I suppose, every single day, and just have no motivation, no desire, no drive, nothing to look forward to in life. And that's why I instill like having so much gratitude for every single day, because I've been through my worst. And it's mad, because I remember when I was in the college bar one night back when I was 19, a friend turned to me and he said, I was drinking pint after pint trying to gain some confidence, and a friend turned to me and he said, "You look like the depressed drunk." And basically, I didn't hit me. It just didn't resonate with me at all. And I just, looking back at that moment, it was a pivotal moment in me realizing that there was something seriously wrong. That my friends could see there was something wrong. That I was so low and so kind of, I suppose, anxious and introverted and everything else. So I obviously, there's probably still a stigma around mental health, but that's why I'm doing what I'm doing, to spread that much needed awareness for mental health, especially coming from a male as well. So it's so important to open up when times do get tough, be able to, you don't have to shout off the rafters or anything else, just to open up to your friends, family, whoever it is you can trust, to be able to verbalize what's going on in your head as well. And that's an important thing as well, that I always instill in my talks.
Yeah, and two things I'm going to bring you back to there. The first one is, we have a lot of mammies in the group, kids that are kind of, I suppose, 9 to maybe 13 or 14, maybe a few starting secondary school, and they're now pulling their hair out going, "Oh, Jesus Christ, when they go to college, they're going to be drinking pint after pint after pint after pint." So they're cursing at the moment, Killian. They're not, there's any tight in the mood a little bit. But I suppose, where did your, I suppose, courage then come out and start speaking about your mental health come from? Or what was your reason behind it?
I suppose I knew I had to speak. I had to let whatever's in my head out, because who knows where I'd be. Like, because if I didn't, I just feel that if it was constant, I just didn't want to be living unhappily anymore. I didn't want to just have negative thoughts in my head day to day, every single day. I just needed to get up and just get out of bed and just do something for me. And it was the things that I had to do for myself that got me to where I am today. I think I just needed, I had the best support around me, but it was just ultimately down to me where I was going to make the changes. So I just had to, I didn't want to live unhappily forever. So I just that's where the courage came from, I suppose.
And have you remember that first moment that, I suppose, not that you spoke to friends or family about, when you spoke to a crowd, or your first thought maybe, walk us through that and what was going on in your head at that time?
I really threw myself in the deep end when my first talk. It was in Glore in Ennis, and there was 500 people there. So it was after a friend. It was after a friend. Yeah, it was after a friend. She does she has a dance school, so just after one of her shows, and she was raising money for like a mental health charity. So I said I'd say a few words after, but I was absolutely nervous as hell. I was just sweating buckets, and I was like, I'm going to collapse here or something like that. But I said what I had to say anyway, and I got a round of applause, and it was just not even because I knew my own story. It was just a weight lifted off my shoulders that I was able to, hopefully, in that audience that night, inspire someone to speak or open up, or be able to look after their own mental health and well-being as well. So yeah, it was it's nerve-wracking. I still get nervous, but it's kind of more excitement now doing the public speaking. It's a good buzz, and I just love being able to, even if it just impacts one person, 5, 10, it doesn't really matter. If you're just reaching one person and they're able to make a positive change or make a positive difference in their own life, that's what I've set out to do.
Yeah, because I suppose we have a lot, not a lot, but we have a couple of members in the group that would have had their own struggles in the past, and I know they're okay with me saying that. and they're, I suppose, are dealing with demons that I won't say on a consistent basis, but, know when they're gone too far to that side, to that other side that you spoke about there, where you're starting to get into dangerous territory.
Yeah.
So my next question, I suppose, and where I'm kind of pushing the conversation towards now is, obviously you've dealt with people like that as well, that have a lot of stressors in their outside life, between work, family commitments, just overall stress, I suppose, in general. Like, what advice would you give to them? What changes would you ask them to make? Like, would you implement different strategies like journaling, or I know you're a big believer in Headspace and Calm. I use it as well myself, in meditation. So I suppose my next question is, what would you do, or what advice would you give to people to help them just de-stress and bring them back from the edge, where they know that they're going to cross that line, and if they cross the line, it's down that dark path again?
Yeah, I suppose I always bring it back to mindfulness, just being aware of what's going on and looking, we all get stressed about different things, but bringing it back to, if you can, bring it back to the present moment and just focus on what I do in the morning. This is kind of a side topic. I obviously, we all know COVID-19 is at the moment, but every single morning I practice gratitude and I write down maybe 3 things I'm grateful for. It could be anything at all. And basically it reins you into what's good in your life, because there's so much negativity. Every time you turn on the TV, it's all about COVID-19. There's so much negative news. We're not hardly hearing any of the positive news of people who are recovering and everything else. But I think if you just focus on the overall picture, that there's so much good still in life, there's so much positive things that you can be doing, there's so much support around you at this present moment. I'm sure you have, from people in the group that's listening, maybe they have family, they've roof over their head, they've so many good things in their life that sometimes, for me myself even, I take for granted. And now it's just with COVID-19, it's kind of makes you appreciate just the little things in life. And you're back to your question, and I suppose it's kind of veering away from it, but again, Headspace is huge. I just use that every single night. Calm is another one. Journaling, I know, even if you don't have someone to talk to or anything like that, journal your thoughts and everything, and just, that's so powerful to get it out on paper. It's another thing I do all the time. And I always say to people, write as if no one's going to read it, because if you have that fear that someone's going to read it, just keep it for yourself, just lock it away or something like that, because it's so important to let your thoughts, feelings out on paper or to someone. And because with stress and everything else, I think it's vital to just be able to have that someone, whoever it is, to let all the stress out and just have a rant, have a vent. It's totally fine to do that at times as well. And I think that's, and obviously fitness as well, just to de-stress.
Yeah, like a big thing, I suppose, that we emphasize in our group, Killian, would be that sense of togetherness and that sense of the community, and that community aspect. So I suppose the first thing I tried to instill when I started with the group 3 years ago was home away from home for people.
Yeah.
People could feel comfortable in the surroundings, that they knew that the person that was in the group was working towards the same goals, and that they had that person's back, basically. So especially in the last couple of weeks, different people have had different stressors. We've had a lot of people that own their own businesses, they've had to close, they were feeling low. And I suppose the beauty for me was the support network we've grown in the group. You didn't need to come in with the positive quotes or the ideologies. I didn't need to say any of those. The group organically sorted the problem, and they offered that support, which was brilliant.
That's great to hear.
Yeah, super. And I think a couple of the advice you gave there about journaling, and your acts of gratitude, I think that's something that my guys can really, really latch onto and really get benefit from. I suppose just tip on from your mental health side of it, like, what are you doing at the moment during lockdown now and with COVID-19 at the moment? What are you doing to make sure that your mental health is on point?
I suppose I get up in the morning, I do cardio, I do maybe an hour on the treadmill, just walking and just strolling, really, like just to get the endorphins flowing. And then I do home workouts and stuff like that. I obviously wouldn't be used to doing home bodyweight sessions. Usually I just
and I'm going to cut across you there. I did them with the guys here I have a new appreciation from Killian, because was absolutely crippled after.
I know, man. It's
they're looking on the camera going, "Oh my god, how am I going to bluff my way out of this?"
Wait, I'll tell you, the first one I did, I was doing a collaboration, and I was seeing stars after I did a exercise standing up, then I went straight to the floor, and I was seeing stars, and I was like, I'm going to pass out here. Oh my god, this is horrendous. But you just get fitter and fitter. You just get fitter and fitter from doing them. But that's what I've been doing, really. I've been doing the home workouts, going out for walks. I have a small like country road near my house. It's only a small bit over the road. I go down there. Getting out to nature again. Gratitude is another thing I'd be doing in the mornings. Journaling. What else? Just that's the stuff that I do all through the last years. The stuff I'm still doing today. That's just keep me. And another thing as well, I just connect with. I know we can't meet people at the present moment, but I just maybe FaceTime my sister, like my two sisters. My mom is here. Just FaceTime friends or video call, and it's always good to catch up to people as well, see how they're going. Even if it's a 2 or 3 minute call or a 10-minute call, just checking in with people and see how they're getting on. Because I put up a post the other day on my Instagram about like I put up a post. The title was "Reach Out If You Need It," and basically I said in the post, like, for people that for contacting or whatever, you're not going to be a burden to someone if you're just ringing them or whatever else. Just if you've something you want to chat about or anything, it's people who love and support you will have that time to listen and everything else. And that's so important as well.
Yeah, and the big thing I picked up on there, Killian, was you have a routine.
Yeah.
And you have a daily routine, which is brilliant as well. So I suppose that's going to be my next question. How important is that daily routine to you? I know you've answered it there kind of anyway already, like, but does that routine and doing those little things consistently well every day help you stay on track, or how would you feel it benefits you?
Yeah, it's 100%, man. Routine is paramount to I suppose my day, I suppose, if you want to put it. But I think it's so important. Like, there was a day last week, maybe 2 days, I was going for my walk and I was like, I'm not motivated to do this. And I had a battle with my own head in my head, and I said to myself, you know how good you'll feel when you do it, you know how good you'll feel while you're doing it, you know how good you're going to get that endorphin rush and feel good. And there was like I always still listen to my own clients, so there's going to be days where motivation goes up and down. It's not going to be a plain sailing journey, but you just have to embrace the good days and just do the best you can with the 24 hours in front of you, I suppose. Days that you don't feel like doing anything, that's fine. But even if you could do 5-10 minutes or 15 minutes of a walk, do something small, and that maybe propel you to do a little bit more, and then it might get the motivation back to do something again the next day. Because if you're constantly sitting down and just maybe 3 or 4 or 5 days before you do any exercise, which is it's hard to get out because obviously at home people have kids and everything else. But there's resources out there like for homework and stuff like this. I'm sure you've told your group always, and you're doing your community anyway, built anyway for doing your classes anyway. So I don't need to preach to yourself.
No, I suppose I asked that question because I suppose, and it's great you tipped on motivation there. Because 2 things I said to my guys, Killian, is you're guaranteed 2 things in your life to be cyclical. I said your weight is the first one, and your motivation. They'll come and go, as you said. Your weight will fluctuate, it'll go up and down depending on the time of the year. It'll rarely remain the same for 12 months of the year, and it'll be the same with your motivation. So just want to touch a little bit more into the motivation side of things, because I know that a couple of my members are struggling at the moment with motivation. And it could be a case where the week goes into the second week where nothing is done, and it might go into the third week, and motivation still hasn't come back. And I suppose, not that it's an excuse that people use that, I have no motivation, so I'm not going to do anything. But what tips would you give people to break that cycle, to break that bad cycle and come back into fitness side of it, or just even exercise, doing something?
Yeah, I suppose it's hard. Like we said, motivation will dip in and it'll go up and it'll go down, which is totally normal. Nobody in the world, I don't think, is motivated 24/7, 365 days a year. But I think it's just building on the routine, building a little bit of discipline day to day, that like have a chat with yourself and just say, if you're not feeling motivated, just write down on paper, what are the benefits of, if I, for example, go for a walk, if I do a workout or a home workout or whatever else, and you'll have yourself convinced how beneficial it will be. And I'm sure you could, like, people could definitely get something done for, like, again, like I said, if it's 5, 10, 15, 20 minutes, whatever it is, it's better than absolutely nothing, you know. It's something small is better than nothing, you know. So I think it's difficult. I found it difficult at the start with just doing the home workouts. Wasn't used to them, and now I'm absolutely loving them because they're done within 15, 20 minutes, and then you have your exercise done for the day, more or less, and even getting in a walk will be beneficial for the day as well. But yeah, I think hopefully that answers that.
Yeah, no, that's super. And I suppose I'm going to just kind of move away from mental health and that side of it, and maybe after the next question. But I suppose one other question I've highlighted here on my notebook, when you were suffering with your mental health, and it doesn't necessarily have to be a mental health problem or a depression problem, anyone suffering from anxiety even, did you notice a link between comfort eating and using food as a comfort?
100%.
Yeah, instead of facing things. And what was your experience with that, maybe?
Yeah, I suppose I definitely put on maybe 20, 30 pounds during that time as well, just because I wanted something to feel good about myself, and I used food as a comfort, and it wasn't the right thing to do, and it just made me feel worse. It made me just go into a negative downward spiral. Didn't like what I saw in the mirror, and then it was constantly negative, negative, negative. But I think I had a chat with myself. I said, I have to do something. I have to do something to improve my health, my physical health, my mental health. And I got to work. I had to, my first time that I went back to training after the hospitalizations and stuff like that was I went back to the local GA field and I just walked and I jogged. I battled with myself doing it, and I kept going back there, but it got me from doing that to eventually joining a gym in Ennis, and it just built up my confidence. And I used to go maybe 4 to 5 times a week, and it was just small steps lead to bigger steps. You know, if you're saying to yourself, I'm going to do in a week, I'm going to do 5, 6 workouts, just that's overwhelming for someone. Just start day by day and just plan your day, and just, I think it's just doing the smaller steps will lead to consistency and bigger results as well. So yeah,
it's great to hear that you said that as well, because I suppose my advice to people that are struggling for that couple of weeks where they're not exercising would be, as you said, they're not to think of a week's work. At once and thinking, I have to get 4 or 5 days in. It could be as simple as saying, look, I'm going to commit to 2 days this week. And maybe commit to a walk or commit to 2 liters of water, whatever it is, and ingrain those habits again. It was great actually hear you say that not to let it overwhelm you. And I think too much about it and overthink the situation really. So it was great to hear that.
I think we can all be hard on ourselves as well, that we should be smashing out 5, 6 sessions a week. I think just do the best you can and focus on, like I always say, focus on your own race. You're in competition with no one. It's your own journey in life. So that's the main thing.
Last question on mental health, Killian, from you, and we'll move into the fitness side of it then, and the doom and gloom will be over. Humans are notorious creatures for solutions, and everything is solution driven to make it as easy as possible, to get quickest results in the quickest amount of time. And you'll often see that there's a fitness hack or there's a health hack, digestion hack, fat loss hack, every sort of a hack known to man. Have you any hacks for mental health and keeping yourself on the straight and narrow?
That's a good question.
Probably a couple of things, but
yeah, that's a nice question. I suppose like the number one thing I could say to someone, and even I still do this day, is don't bottle up what is going on in your head. I think the main thing is to speak up to someone you can trust, family member, friend, doctor, and let it all out, because that's the main thing. I don't think that's much of a hack, but I think it's just a massive one that people they feel that they're a burden to someone, but I don't. Like, the people you trust and the people who will support you and are there for you all the time will make the time to just actively listen to you. That's the main thing, because for me, like, we all get bad days. I chat to my girlfriend, I chat to my mom or whoever else, sisters, and you feel 100% better when you just get out what's in your head and let it just, I suppose, let it out. If that's the.
Well, no, that's actually a good question, which is great.
Yeah.
And I suppose ways talking to the audience, because I can see who's on here. If anyone has any questions, make sure you're firing them in, because there's a couple of comments. One comment came in there, Killian just said it's not easy subject to broach, and said you're glad you got some help. So the guys are delighted if you're there anyway.
Thanks a million.
We'll transition this into a fitness kind of conversation now.
Yeah.
I won't take much more of your time anyway, but I suppose fitness as a whole, where do you see the industry at the moment? As I said to you before we came on, my core group, my group would be busy people, they're busy moms, have to exercise in the morning, do all of our time poor.
Yeah.
So where do you see the fitness industry, say, for my demographic of the group at the moment?
Yeah, well, I suppose at the current situation, it's going to be a lot of online stuff at the moment, isn't it? You know, people are going to have to make do with what's available at the moment, and it's going to be like I've seen a lot of people doing like timetables of classes and offering that kind of stuff. And I'd say that's going to go on for a couple of months. I said so people have to, even for personal trainers, they'll have to transition over to more of the online classes, Zoom classes. I've seen a lot of people doing that, maybe 7 or 8 in the class. And I see that's going to be the next one, because I gym, who knows when the gyms are going to open again. So I think we have to adapt to what's happening. You know, we have to, the new norm, I suppose, if you want to call it, just kind of being able to adapt to what's going on and still be able to get in good workouts and effective workouts with bodyweight stuff, even if you had a few dumbbells around the place and stuff like that, and still be able to make progress in your fitness journey as well, instead of saying to yourself that, oh, I'll leave it till the gyms are open. Sure, that could be the end of the summer. Realistically, I don't know, who knows really, like, you know. So I think it's adapting, doing what you can with what's available to you, and you know, doing your very best.
Yeah, I suppose where I want to lead us next is to, just in your opinion, I suppose more so than anything else, what I've noticed in the last month especially, I suppose, is people that wouldn't have been on social media in terms of fitness professionals and just flooding social media now and just throwing content out there for the sake of putting content out there. And I suppose, you know as well better than I know that like fitness industry is a multi-billion-dollar industry between supplements, training, the whole lot. And I suppose there's a lot of misleading information out there. And a lot of the industry, there's nearly a dark side of the industry then as well. It's I describe it as, I suppose, sick, as unhealthy, because it just preys on insecurities and people's vulnerabilities. So what do you think of that at the moment? Do you think that people just have to tread carefully, use common sense, or what's your opinion on that?
It's just following the people, if you're on Instagram, Facebook, whatever it is, evidence-based information, instead of just following people who are just in it for a quick buck. I think, you know, it's following the reputable people, even in Ireland, the UK, whoever it is you follow, and make sure that information is valid and it's correct as well, because there is a lot of misinformation, I suppose, if you want to call it, out there. But I think it's checking the facts, you know, checking that this is actually correct. And obviously we've seen over the past few years, Barry, in the last number of years, about all different diets there has been and different whatever else. And I think the fad diets is what I'm trying to say. I think they do more harm than good, and people want, I suppose, that the quick fix. We all want results tomorrow. You know, we all do. But I think I always say this as well. It's the journey is the reward, because I think if you are looking for that quick fix, you're going to be constantly all the time looking for that quick fix. I think if you just realize that a weight loss journey should be done in a sustainable manner, and even if it takes you 6 months or a year to get in shape, and you keep it off, then that's all the better for someone. You know, I instill that to all the clients I am as well, because I think it's 6 weeks, 8 weeks, 12 weeks transformation. You see them all the time and they're great, but I think you just have to look at your own situation and see where you're at and see how long it will take you, and reverse engineer how you're going to get there on a weight loss journey as well, and see how long it will take you, and do it in the most sustainable manner that'll keep the weight off and being able to enjoy the food you're eating, and just keep it sustainable. I think is the main thing.
Actually, it flows actually great into my next question, because I don't know if I can get up the picture of you there again.
Another picture.
Hang on there now, we'll see if we get it up. I don't know, is it saved in the uploads? There it is. Who owns this arse?
Is it
And
me?
Killian showing
It's not showing.
screen.
It's not showing. I can't see it.
There
Oh,
it
there
is
we go.
again.
It's me again.
There we
Oh
go.
my God, it's not me. It's not me. Dewberry.
I'll take
Dewberry.
I'll take it down. I'll take it down. But you got into, I suppose, superhuman shape, we're going to call it. Superhuman shape for what be for someone else. It could be someone's Everest. So, and you use the word sustainable there.
Yeah.
Is you go back to what I said to you previously about social media, and I suppose people look at magazines, social media, from the outside world that they look and conform to a certain way. Like you've gotten into that shape. Like, is that sustainable? Can you just highlight? Can you shed some light on that for people?
Yeah, it's supposed to stay at that level. It's definitely not sustainable. No way. It's so I don't know. Like I was probably on that day I was 68 kg. My normal weight is probably 73, 74, and that's sustainable for me. You know, you have to find the body weight that you're comfortable at. I suppose what one way to put it. I couldn't imagine staying at 68 kg really, and just you're probably you just have to, after a competition like that, you have to kind of build up your calories again and get back to a normal baseline of where your body weight is going to be. But realistically, no, I don't think that's like I would love the competitions. I love doing them, but at the same time, it's kind of really restrictive. It's hard to it's very difficult to get in that shape, and Jesus, it's hard to get in the shape, but let alone maintain it is another story, So
I think people knew the answer anyway before when I asked the question, but I suppose I just wanted to
of course.
Without going too much into Killian, can you just shed a bit, because I know what's involved in it, I suppose, but in terms of the restriction side of things, can you just, like, everyone has different stories, between carb depleting, hydrating yourself. Can you shed a little bit on what you went through just to get to that condition? Because I think people still are a little bit naive to think that you can get into that. That's normal, and what you see in a magazine is real, and it's it's attainable for everyone. It's short space time.
So basically, I probably did it over 24 weeks maybe, and I towards the start it was fine. First 12 weeks, 15 weeks even, they were grand. Then the last 6 weeks, I was probably over the last 2 weeks, I was doing maybe 90 minutes of cardio a day, plus weight sessions, plus trying to run a business, plus trying to manage everything else, a girlfriend, family, everything else. So that is, it's. I think it was just a buzz because I had done it and I came third in the competition the first year. I just wanted to redeem myself and do it again. And I'm not knocking the competitions at all. I think it's just people need to see that the real side of it as well, and just see how restrictive it is and how hard it is and how much time goes into it, how much effort you have to do. Basically, I was tunnel vision towards that. Everything around me didn't really matter as much, obviously it did, but I was kind of tunnel vision towards that show and towards winning and everything else. And it was great that I did. It was great that I won. It was great that I went to the UK and won again. But at the same time, I couldn't see myself do it again. I couldn't see myself, being honest. Just it's so much more. My priorities now, trying to transition over into the mental health side of things and just everything else in life,
Yeah, I think that's back to what you said there towards the end of what you were saying. It's where people start to, I suppose, get exhausted, break down, when fitness becomes that consuming and it dictates your life and dictates what you have to do, it nearly sets you up for failure, and you get that empty feeling after it, I suppose, because you're so engrossed in it and that's all you want to do, and everything is revolving around what you're eating, what training you're doing, your social life, your family life revolves around it, and then all of a sudden you've got a 5-year-old pulling at your leg going, man, I'm competing for your time now, so I think that's where people get burnt out and exhausted and the whole lot. So it's great to hear firsthand on that. I suppose my next question for you, Killian, on the fitness side of it is, what would be your go-to tips and advice? I know everyone's case is different and each person is different and it's different circumstances, etc. But I suppose your go-to tips and advice for people that are looking to lose a little bit of weight or looking to break into training, a break into fitness?
Yeah, so I suppose I'll start with people who just have weight to lose. I suppose again, I kind of touched on it at the start, was look at the overall picture. That this, I know we kind of get fixated on the weight loss and the number on the scales or whatever else, but I think if you look at the overall picture, that there are so many positive benefits happening along the way as well. That you may be more energetic, you may be able to do certain things you weren't able to do. You're more flexible, you're more agile, you have just you're able to do way more things. Maybe you're happier day to day. You have more confidence. I think that is more important than a number on the scales than anything else. You know, if you're focusing on all those positive things, and you might even notice that yourself when you're going on a weight loss journey. But if you just really tune in to what is happening, I think that's going to make your life easier on a weight loss journey. Because if you're I always say this to my clients as well, like if you're focused constantly on scale weight and measurements all the time, it's going to take away from the journey, and the journey should be appreciated from day one to day whatever you get to finish your goal, you know. And for people who are trying to get into fitness, I suppose it's, you know, fitness is something that I rely on every day, or like obviously I do a small bit of a walk in the morning and go out in fresh air, but just do what you're able for at the start, I suppose. Do what you can manage. Don't, again, overwhelm yourself with seven sessions a week or 6 sessions a week. Do what you're able for. Do the best you can, and just focus on those daily wins. Just focus on that you got 2 liters of water in a day. Focus on that you ate a healthy breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and make all them add up to your, I suppose, daily goal, and this all of them will add up to your long-term results over time as well. And again, there will be blips along the way. We all get blips, and just don't think one bad day is a failed diet or whatever else. It's not. It's just a part of the journey.
Yeah, that's good. That's good to hear. So I'm going to put you on the spot here now with the next 3 questions. I'm coming to you as your client, female client, haven't lost weight in 2 weeks. I'm taking out a meal. I'm in another session that you don't know about, restricting my calories a little bit more. Talk to me. How would you bring me back off the ledge? I've gone through this in
So
my
how
group
do I
already,
know?
but how would you go about bringing me back? I've gone through this in my group already, but I just want to get another voice in it.
Yeah, I suppose it honestly is the main thing with a client and a coach as well, because if you don't know what is going on, so for example, if this is my client or whatever, if you don't know what's going on, you can't, I suppose, help them along the way in their journey. I think it's just being 100% transparency and honesty that you're you're restricting the calories, is it?
Yeah, so if I'm a female client coming to you and we haven't lost weight in maybe 2 weeks, 3 weeks, starting to feel a little bit overwhelmed, you know, starting to feel like a little bit of a failure, you're telling me stick to the process and to trust you. I'm sneaking, you know, adding in more cardio or another session or restricting my calories a little bit more.
Yeah.
How would you bring me back off the ledge?
See, it's a difficult one. If you start restricting the calories and then you have to bring them back up again, that's going to be a difficult one for someone to breach to someone. That's just saying, if you restrict the calories for a week or 2 weeks and then telling them that you should go back to the calories you're on, very difficult to do. So I suppose is work with the clients, work with them, and just see what calories they're on. And if they're extremely low, you don't want to be going extremely low calories either. You want to be going for the calories that are, I suppose, getting you the results. And obviously, if it's stalled for 2 weeks, you know, this is still time. There's still time to bring it back and just get to a baseline of calories that will get the results. And even if it's inputting more cardio or more steps in a week, or looking at the calorie range that they're intaking, make sure they're intaking the correct amount of calories, that they're tracking properly, that they're inputting like the oils, the hidden calories as well, and make sure that way, and just work with the client. I think that's the main thing, just because it has to work both ways. I know you put your faith in the client or in the coach to get you the results, but I think it has to work both ways. It's a two-way process as well, you know.
Yeah. I suppose the next question that I have for you is, I'm still your female client. Killian, I've looked at your program. You're making me lift weights. I'm worried that I'm going to get bulky. Give me your answer.
That's a tough one. I suppose like it's a common thing that all females, majority of females anyway, think. But I think the weights will not. You have to be really lifting extortion amount of weight to be getting bulky and being honest. Like
The way I describe it to the group, I suppose, Killian, is a woman's body isn't hormonally programmed from
yeah,
massive amounts of
exactly.
mass.
Yeah,
So for what they see in magazines and whatever, where people and women are extremely bulky,
yeah,
there's artificial obviously help for that in some cases,
yeah,
well, the majority of cases. But I was just, as I said, I was looking for your opinion on it there as well, just to highlight that.
yeah. Of course.
It's not, the last question I'll give you on for the fire round, we'll call it, protein for women and how important it is.
100%, just for that lean mass as well, or that leanness that you can get from just protein. It's just every client that I've had over the last number of years, they kind of struggle with getting in protein, but for the benefits of protein will keep you fuller for longer as well. That's one. It's just satiety reasons as well, and I think getting in protein just will help overall with your body composition as well. So I think just getting in the right amount of protein and just having a balance to your carbs, your fats, and your proteins as well is the main thing. I think did you say whey protein or protein in general? Just
protein in general, I suppose, as a macronutrient, how important it is for women more so than men. Not just associated with that. I suppose that's something. And it's great you said it as well. People struggle to get their adequate amount of protein in every day. So, would you have any advice to a client that's struggling? Because you don't want, I suppose, to come across as a supplement butcher either.
Yeah, I suppose the supplement or the protein sources, like you could obviously the meats and the fish and everything else, the yogurts, the cheeses. But yeah, I do recommend protein powder to my female clients as well, just because sometimes they might even get like 60, 70 grams of protein in a day. So just to bump it up a little bit. It's totally fine as well. I think there's so much research on protein powder that it's totally fine as well, So I think there's no harm if you're lifting weights and you're having a protein powder shake or whatever else, or putting into a smoothie or something like that. Yeah, I think it's to bump up those levels because we know how protein is so important.
Yeah, and I thought my next question would be on fat loss. You're nearly there, Killian. No, sorry for holding you so long, but it's great to get another coach, a reputable coach that you trust, and just, I suppose, the same values, which is brilliant as well. It's very hard to find someone that has the same values as yourself. In terms of fat loss, if you were to give people one bit of advice on fat loss to help them along their journey, because I suppose I use the word journey as well to people to embrace their journey and to enjoy their journey because it's unique to them and different to everyone else's. If you had one bit of advice for people to help them with their fat loss and keep them on that straight line, what would it be?
The one bit of advice. That's a good
one. I'll give you my own first and let you think while you're thinking there. I'm at the moment, I suppose, is getting people to increase their NEAT. Like when I started training people and started doing classes, I was saying this on my talk with Liam last week. I used to love, I suppose, nearly making people crippled after a workout. I'm known inside in BFIT as the high intensity trainer that used to come out and nearly getting sick, and there's no outcome to that, for people, just making people sore for the sake of being sore. And then what's happening then with people was the next day they couldn't walk, so their NEAT decreased during the week. And I suppose it's something that as I evolved as a trainer, made sure that obviously especially in our group at the moment, our sessions are designed 6 weeks at a time in blocks. Everything leads into each other. There isn't just, we're doing this today. And I make a conscious effort to make sure that people in between our sessions are able, I suppose, to increase their NEAT. Put emphasis on that rather than sitting down all day going, Jesus, I'm I can't move. So.
That'd be definitely just to add on that as well. I think people, they may think if they've done half an hour in the day and then they're sitting down for the rest of the day in a fairly whatever kind of role they have, or if it's a sedentary job, I definitely recommend getting the steps and getting the NEAT up as well, because it'll positively contribute to your overall fat loss journey as well over time as well. Because if you're getting, aiming for 8 to 10,000 steps a day, definitely should be recommended. Or I think it is recommended anyway, 10,000 steps a day. But yeah, what could I give that would be of value? I suppose it would be to embrace the journey of that. So many, like I said, so many positive things are happening, so many beneficial things are happening while you're training, while you're eating healthy. And like, some people wait till something goes wrong with their health to start training. I think it's so important that they just keep up the routine. Even if you don't see results for a week or 2 weeks or 3 weeks, just keep going. It's so beneficial. It's so important just to keep training, keep it good, keep training for your mental health, your physical health, your overall well-being, and just enjoy the journey, because you will get there if you just realize that Rome wasn't built in a day either. If you just keep going.
Yeah, and I suppose the last couple of questions I have for you, Killian, what do you wish you would, when you were your younger self, what do you wish you knew now, that you didn't know back then?
Good question. I suppose if I was to talk to my younger self, I would tell myself just to be a little bit more patient. I suppose that just realize that even if I was going through the mental health struggles back then, that telling myself that things will get better over time, that things will be good again. Yeah, that's a great question.
Jeez, I'm fired about here today.
You fired her, buddy. Jeez. Yeah, I just being kinder to myself, that just being compassionate to myself, that not every day is going to be perfect. There's going to be blips along the way, and just enjoy the journey of life. Just enjoy what's happening day to day and be present in the moment as well. Enjoy the small moments with your friends and family, who are probably the most important people in all our lives, I suppose. And yeah, that's, just embrace the moments that you get with them as well,
Yeah, and you said something there about there will be blips along the way, and I think it's very important for people to understand that not everything is linear in a straight line, and there will be peaks and troughs. But my next question for you, to put you on the spot, is something you failed at, Killian, in your life.
Something I failed at. Something.
Just the context of this, I suppose, for everyone is to show like that. People see you now where you've come back from the brink and the whole lot. And they see the confident person that's out there doing these talks and speaking in public. I suppose it's a vulnerable side of you too. Like it's something that you fail at, that you learned from, and you were able to bounce back from.
All like, it mightn't be as such a failure, but it's something like lacking that confidence. I felt like I was a failure. Lacking that self-esteem. I felt that over the last, going through my struggles, that I should be doing this, I should be doing that. But over time, I think you just have to work, I suppose, on self-development, on personal development, to keep building on your confidence. And what got me building my confidence was through fitness, and I just felt good within myself. And what you feel inside will make you feel better on the outside. So what you're externally showing, I suppose, to people, your mood is going to be better, is what I mean, really. You're going to be happier day to day, and people will notice that, and maybe that's not just a failure. I think I felt it was a failure when I was going through the mental health side of things. But looking back now, again, it's shaped who I am, and it's shaped my perspective that I can appreciate every day of my life now,
Good answer. Have you any ridiculous goals in life? We're getting there now. These are the light-hearted questions.
Ridiculous goals. Do you know what? I have so many goals, but I'm just taking it day by day now, because with COVID-19 and everything else, you know what? My goal was a couple of months ago, to do a TEDx talk, to do a TEDx and just do way more public speaking, and just see how much more, like, even if it's schools, even if it's different events, many more people I can just inspire and impact in life. I just want to keep spreading that much needed message around mental health and mental health issues, because it's such an important topic to be talking about and make people more aware of what's going on. Ridiculous goals. I don't know. I have so many goals, but I don't know would they be that ridiculous.
No, that's good. That's a good answer. That's fine. The politician, that's okay. Your favorite Disney movie, Killian?
Favorite Disney movie? The Lion King, I suppose. Would that be?
Good one. Yeah, that's I'll give you that one. I suppose the last question I'm going to ask you before we sign off. What inspires you the most on a daily basis to do what you do?
Just seeing that I can make a positive difference in people's lives, through using my lived experience, through the mental health side of things, now through fitness, now through, I suppose, just helping people see that there is a light at the end of the tunnel as well. Yeah, just inspiration comes from helping others, and seeing that there is a question up there, is there?
It's actually just a comment. I've just seen it there. I said I just threw it up on the screen for you to read it there when you're finished.
Oh yeah, sorry. What inspires me, I suppose, is to just keep doing what I'm doing, keep inspiring, impact, and make a difference in people's lives. That there is a way past the darkness that we're going through it, and just to try your best and be kind to yourself. And yeah, I think that makes a bigger sense. Let's read it there. Sorry.
They're just saying they don't have any questions, but they want to thank you for speaking about your mental health. And your point about speaking about it, alerting someone you trust about how you're feeling, cannot be overstated. But I always tell my clients that they've made the first step to wellness by speaking out. It's tough to do, as isolation and withdrawing from others is often at the heart of depression and can end up being both a symptom and a cause.
Yeah.
So I actually can't see who the Facebook user is there. It doesn't allow me.
No worries.
But yeah, that was one of the comments there, and we've a couple of other comments there that just
whoever wrote that. Appreciate the comment. Thank you.
Yeah, well, Killian, we're 55 minutes in. I appreciate your time this evening.
I want
to thank you from the bottom of my heart. It genuinely meant a lot for you to come on and speak about your journey as well, and just speak about everything that you've experienced. And hopefully, we'll get you back in another capacity there, maybe in a couple of months' time or a couple of weeks' time, to another chat about something else.
Perfect, man. Really appreciate it. Thanks a million.
No worries. I appreciate it.
There's a new message below, is there?
No, you're right. Yeah, it's just thank you so much for the talk. Really enjoyed it. It's very easy to listen to.
Great. Good stuff. Thanks a million. So yeah, very thanks a million. Really appreciate it. Great chat for an hour. Cheers, man.
Cheers. Talk to you later.